Welcome to Progress in San Diego. Ordinary people doing extraordinary things. I'm your host, Walter Davis, and I have the honor to have Mr. John Kuek of the Southern Sudanese Community Center. Mr. Kuek, tell me, what is your position there at the Sudanese Community Center?
Well, nice to be here, Walter.
And thank you, yes.
At the Sudanese Community Center, I'm the chairperson of the board of directors.
Very good, very
Yes,
good.
Yes.
So tell me, now, what does the Sudanese Community Center do?
Well,
What's your mission?
there at the center, we have a lot of programs. Some of those programs, if I do not name all of them, some of those programs are tutoring programs. We have youth and culture program. We have citizenship program. We have our culture, so our women and men gather together there to do the activities, some of the activities that we used to do back home. So we still embrace our culture even, while we're here.
I see.
So those programs are going on there.
So you have programs for women, you have tutoring programs,
Program.
after school programs for kids. You have, now it's not just for Sudanese people now, you have a lot of Latinos that come through there. You have people of all races, all cultures coming to the communities and having meetings. I know I have meetings there.
Right.
And by the way, I've just been appointed the director of technology training and outreach. So we actually have technology training there twice a week where we teach people all about computers. And you have a computer lab.
We do.
And that's open to the public.
It is.
You have Arabic classes.
We have that going on every Saturday.
Every Saturday between 10 and 12.
And 12.
You have the Arabic classes.
Yes.
And we have technology classes on Monday and Tuesday. Between 6:30 and 9 on Monday night, and Tuesday morning between 10 and 2 in the afternoon.
Exactly.
And your after school program start?
On 3 p.m.
3 p.m.
to 6 p.m.
Okay. And then there's the micro
credit program
on
Monday
from
6 p.m. to 8 p.m. And then we have it again on Thursday morning from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m.
Outstanding.
Yes.
So you guys are quite a dynamic community center.
We are.
And I'm thinking that a lot of people don't really know that you exist.
We realize that a lot of people don't know that because we've been there for more than 3 years in that location. And we've been providing the same program that we're providing now. And we are still struggling to sustain all these programs in the center in terms of funding. We've been running ups and downs to keep those programs running. And it seems like people are not really seeing the benefit of that center being there, helping the city high people. Because people are not really willing to come forward to help us, provide the service.
Not in the numbers that you need.
Exactly.
Okay. So you need funding.
We do.
You need volunteers.
We need volunteers.
You need more people to use the services.
Exactly.
What else? What else?
We need supplies, like office supplies. And those are the main things that we need to have that center running, and provide the same services that we have been providing for the last 3 years. So a lot of our employees now are volunteers because they're not getting paid when we run out of funding that we used to have. And they are still there providing services. We have 35 teachers who are teaching kids. We have math tutors, we have English tutors, we have all kinds of professions. UCSD is coming there, USD is coming there, San Diego State, they're all coming there to help. They're sending a student down there to help our kids.
And you have high school students as well.
We have high school student also coming over there. Yeah.
Now, you just recently had a very significant accomplishment yourself. Let's talk about you for a minute.
Right.
Tell me what that was. You just did something very fantastic.
Yeah. Thank you for that. I just graduated with a Master of Science in Counseling. is specialized in marriage and family therapy and child therapy. So not only in marriage and not only, for individual, couples, groups, and children. So I just graduated recently, and I'm so proud of that. And I'm now in training, getting more hours to be able to get my license, so I can practice.
I see. So you got a master's degree just recently.
Yeah.
And tell me now, why is it that we have people coming to America from Sudan? What's going on in Sudan right now?
Very good question. A lot of people in this country don't really know what is going on in Sudan. Recently, from 2003, people just learn about what is going on in the Western Sudan, in Darfur. But what is going on in the Western Sudan is just a little bit of the whole thing that has been going on for more than 40 years in Sudan, between the South and the North. So it has been going on very silently. People from South Sudan have been crying. People really don't know until they learn about it. And to make the whole, long story short, the civil war in Sudan has been going on for a long time, until 2005, when the rebel people who have been fighting against the government for their own right came to an agreement and signed a peace agreement in 2005. And that peace agreement is called CPA, Comprehensive Peace Agreement, that normalized things between the North and the South. And that peace agreement was signed to give the Southern people an opportunity for the first time to be on their own and think of whether they will remain as part of the country or succeed as another country. And that will happen in 2011. We have 6 years together as one country, but in 2011, the Southern Sudanese people will be able to vote on their own, whether for unity or separation.
Do you think that will happen peacefully? Do
Well,
you think that might be violent if the Southern people decide to succeed away?
many people think that that might be violent because the brothers from the North don't really want to see this happening, that the Southern people breaking away from the whole Sudan to be independent.
Why?
Part of what I would like to share with you is that all the natural resources are located in the South, such as oil, gold, and other natural resources. So in the Southern Sudanese people, 90%, I'm very sure 90% will vote for separation. Maybe only 10% will vote for unity. And what fears us now is that this government that is currently there now will do everything it could to keep the country together. And part of what this government will do is to pour a lot of money out there. Pour a lot of money out there and try to change the mind of some of these people to vote for unity. So what they're saying now is that within this short period of time, until 2011, January 2011, they are going to make this peace agreement attractive. How? How will that happen? In 3 months or 4 months away from now. We are suspecting something. Maybe they will bribe people, maybe they will do something. And we fear that if that happens, yes, we might end up having another civil war.
Now, you mentioned that there is violence occurring in the western part of Sudan, but I'm hearing the conversation now about the north and south. So there appears to be a number of geographical divisions. It's very complicated.
It is. It is complicated. If you look at the whole issue going on, some people understand what is going on between the north and the south. And now some understand what is going on in the west. Yet there is another thing going on in the east and another thing going on in the north. So the whole country is in turmoil now. It's not in peace. Then the whole country now fear that if Southern Sudan break away to be a country, maybe the West will break away to be another country. Maybe the East will break away and unite with the South. So a lot of things might happen. And it is very complicated.
So a lot of people are being murdered
Yeah.
in Sudan. Do you have any numbers? Can you put a number on that in terms of what that might look like?
Well, if I tell you a figure for the whole Sudan, it will exceed 3 million people.
That have been killed
Yeah.
in the 40 years?
In the 20 years.
20 years.
In the 20 years. That's what is there in the media now.
3 million people.
3 million. More than 3 million people. I'm just telling you a rough number.
Now, the government is controlled by
The Muslims.
Muslims. And the southern people are generally Christian.
Christian.
Is that correct?
Yeah, about 85%, if not 90.
So some of this is ethnic, some of this is religious, some of this is tribal.
Well, people in South Sudan are all African. All of them are African. In the north are Arab. With that, in Darfur, they're all African. And you look at these ethnic differences, one might jump to conclusion, oh, maybe it's a war between Arab and Arab Muslim and African Christian. Or someone will understand it, oh, maybe it is inequality going on because people are not equal. And all of them are all of the above. Yeah.
So all of those things are true.
All of those things are true.
So again, it's very complicated.
It is
There is no simplistic analysis of what the true dynamics are.
Now, if you take one way and go with it, you're missing another part of it.
So what is the common thread that holds all these different factions together?
The common thread there is that people are not equal there. Simply. People who are in power now see the other people in the South and the West are second class. They're not equally the same as them.
So there's a ruling class
Exactly.
that basically looks down upon everyone
Exactly.
else. And that ruling class is composed of Christians and Muslims?
No, it's
No.
composed of Muslims.
Muslims only?
Yeah.
Arabs only?
100%
Or are there blacks involved with this?
I
too?
would say not. I think there are some of that ruling class, is maybe 2 to 3% is African, maybe
Okay.
black,
Okay,
but the majority of that is Arab.
I see.
Yeah.
And without the natural resources in the South, the North and other parts of the country could be very impoverished. The
Exactly.
ruling class would lose their money supply, in other
Exactly.
words.
Exactly.
So the people are coming to the United States and they're coming to San Diego to escape
Right.
the violence, the turmoil that's occurring.
Exactly.
So they've been traumatized.
Right.
A lot of them have lost family members.
Right.
They have seen death. They have been impoverished. And so that's where you come in, with
Right.
the counseling. So
Right.
that's why you got the counseling certification to help
Exactly.
assuage some of the trauma that your people are facing.
Exactly.
So we have a large number of Sudanese people here in San Diego County that are trying to assimilate,
Right.
but they're spread out throughout the United States.
Right.
It's a network of people,
Right.
correct? And you want the rest of San Diego to know that the Sudanese Community Center is a community center. It's not just for the Sudanese. However, there is a great deal of need because this center serves as the only support mechanism for many people within the Sudanese community. Is that not true?
It is correct. It is correct. We've been here in San Diego years back, about 7 years ago. San Diego was the largest community, where the largest community of Sudanese live. Later on, people moved out from San Diego to another state. Now we are everywhere in all United States.
So what I understand you to say is that San Diego had the largest number
the largest number of the Sudanese
outside of Sudan.
outside. No, in United States.
In the United
all,
States.
yeah, in all the states in the United
Why is that?
States. Part of that is weather. The
Okay.
weather is very warm here. It's just like Sudan. The
Okay.
people move from other states to live in San Diego.
Uh-huh.
Until, San Diego became very expensive and people can afford to live here.
Uh-huh.
Could not find job and housing, and people moved out. Now, we remain in San Diego like between 3,000 people to 7,000
Uh-huh.
living in San Diego County. Every corner of San Diego.
Right.
So that center has been there as the only resources for the Sudanese to teach their kids their values, such as language, culture, and is also the only resources to get connect with the largest community of San Diego. So, and you see, what is going on in the center now. We have microcredit that Sudanese women are part of, and the Hispanic community are part of, and in that computer lab is being accessed by all people living in CDI. Then that gives us an opportunity to connect with people around us, and that's why that center is very important.
It's a beautiful thing.
Beautiful thing.
It's a beautiful thing happening. Now,
Yeah.
we had some entertainment there recently with more than 20 different
Right.
entertainers of all ethnic
Exactly.
backgrounds showing
Exactly.
up,
Exactly.
and that was quite successful.
Exactly.
What else do you want the people to know? What are some of the struggles that the Sudanese people, what are they struggling with here in San Diego?
Well, Walter, what I will tell you now, every Sudanese can tell you if you meet them and you ask them the same question. They'll tell you the same. People are struggling here financially because most of our families here are large families, 5 to 9 children within the family. And if you go to that family, only one person works in that family with minimum wage. They cannot really support this large family with the support that this family needs. So in that center, the community center, what I want to communicate with people who are watching your show is that that center is very important to us. Because we have that center, we help the law enforcement in San Diego with gang activities. We prevent gang activities. Sudanese community is the only African community in San Diego that is free of gang group. It's because we have that center. We're teaching them our values. We have religious people coming there teaching them. We have, people who are trained here, counselors such as myself, teaching them how to live the life peacefully. So we are free of gang group and other African communities that have gang group. So that is one important part of having that community there. I'm asking people to support us, to support our kids. We have that after-school program. We have that tutoring program to help these kids, because most of our kids just came with their parents from Africa, and they start their education according to their age. I mean, they're not really prepared when they were young. Some of them came as 15 years old, and they start where 15 years old, are, and they struggle. With that center, we are helping them. From school, they come to center, we help them, and now they're going along with their education. So we really, really need help. And I'm asking every person who watch your show to support us. Not only financially, we need people there. We need tutors. And we need supplies, of any kind. So this is one of the things that I really want to communicate with people on your show.
One of the things that I'm aware of is that a lot of the African gang members are teaming up with Latino groups against African Americans and others. So this is a dynamic that some of the individuals in these communities are being looked upon as outsiders.
Right.
So as a result, the outsider Latino groups and the African groups pairing up.
Right.
So this is a very violent
Right.
and potentially dangerous situation for the entire community. So I really commend you, for being able to assuage that entire problem within your community.
Right. Right.
So you need help.
I do need help.
You need support.
Yes.
You need money. You need
Right.
volunteers.
Right.
So for those of you in the audience that want to learn more about the Sudanese Community Center, please go to the San Diego County Community Coalition website, and then there I have your logo. I've
Right.
got a link to your website, et cetera,
Right.
where people can give donations.
Exactly.
They can get involved in mentorship programs, the anti-gang. There's a plethora of opportunities for the community to get involved.
Right.
You can have your meetings there at the community center. Come down there. The people are very friendly. They will embrace you, and we can make a very positive impression, or further the positive impression here in San Diego County. We're coming down to the last few minutes here of the interview. Time just kind of zipped by on us
Right.
here.
Right.
What else do you want to communicate to the audience?
Okay. I want to communicate with audience that we have been getting help from few sources in San Diego, and those are, we call them part of the community. Such, one of those sources is La Maestra Clinic. That is right next to the Southern Sudanese community. La Maestra is playing a role in keeping that center going. We get funding from La Maestra to keep some of those programs going. So we need support, such as that support that we're getting from La Maestra Clinic to keep the community going. So I am asking your help, basically. I'm just asking for help from anyone. Anyone who wants to support the Sudanese people. Those people who are there, the Sudanese who are there, who are family members now, they came out from this country when they were young. They very much grew up in the refugee camp. They became parents in the refugee camp. Now they end up here as parents who never see Sudan. They belong to here, too. Then we need to support those people. For us to keep that beautiful center that you saw, Walter, we need financial assistance to keep it running, basically.
Yes. Yeah. And it's definitely a struggle. It's hard times for everyone in this economy. However, the significance of the Sudanese Center, when people are coming from a refugee camp, assimilating in the United States, learning a new language, that's got to be awfully tough.
It is tough.
To leave your country behind and to come to an expensive place like San Diego and try to survive in that.
Right. It is.
A foreign culture.
It is. And when Sudanese first came to San Diego, everything was new to them. When they first came to the United States, everything was new to them. And now they are at least, oriented to the culture of the United States. And they know their way around, and they're very much settled, except financially, because they are still struggling.
And one of the things I want to point out that we didn't talk about is the fact that you help other African people, such as the Somalis and others. You're sort of, if I could say, you have a leadership role at the Sudanese Community Center, in terms of helping others.
Right.
Well, again, we're coming down to our last 3 minutes. I really appreciate you coming out, and I appreciate what you've done for the Community Coalition and allowing us to have our meetings there, and then technical training and things of that nature. We're going to do everything in our power to ensure that the community is aware of what your situation is and the importance of continuing to support you and to get more support. So that you can increase your programs. Because not only do you want to maintain what you have going, you have future things that you want to do even beyond the scope of what you're doing now. Could you elaborate on that a little? Just take about 30 seconds to tell me about that.
What we want to do more that we don't have already is technology program. Now, this program, you're there now. And we are mobilizing people to learn so that we can broadcast our own show. Now we just start the citizenship class. So we want the whole community to come to Southern Sudanese community to learn English. I mean, to be able to pass their citizenship class. And that we might be able to get some funding to subsidize how much, the citizenship process costs. So with that, we are trying to bring services to support these East African community members.
And we're looking
Somali,
at developing a
Ethiopian.
solar power
Yeah, and solar power.
technology.
Yes.
And that needs to go back to Sudan.
Exactly.
And so we're looking at a
Exactly.
greener planet. So this has a
Bigger
earth-friendly kind of thing.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
again, we're coming down to our last minutes here. So I want to thank everyone for joining us and watching Progress in San Diego. If you want to learn more about the Sudanese Community Center, please go to our website as indicated at the end of the broadcast here, and you can call me on the telephone number there as well. If you want to learn how to get in touch with Mr. Kuek and getting involved with the programs here at the Sudanese Community Center. I really appreciate you coming aboard here on the show. I want to encourage the audience to get involved with our broadcasts and to come out and volunteer or become part of our audience here. We have an all-volunteer crew that I'm very appreciative of for coming out here to help us. You can learn about webcasting, camera operation, sound engineering, and it's open to the public. You don't need any kind of experience to become involved with us. And as you see, we're multicultural. We have a lot of different people involved with our broadcasts. And we're citizens. We're citizens telling our story because we are the story. We are the news. We're taking control of those stories and getting away from mainstream media. That's why you see things being broadcast over the internet. You can become involved with our shows. It's a two-way involvement by tuning in to our broadcast over the internet. You can ask questions of our people, and we just really want to thank you for joining us this evening.
Beautiful.